I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming, it's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
December 12th, 2024. Welcome back to the program, folks. December 12th, 2024. Welcome. Doesn't quite sound right. A little bit off. If that gets that deep bass sound back. If that gets that deep bass sound back. Well, it sounds about the same. Welcome back to the program, folks. December 10th, 2024. It's always a pleasure. Thanks for being here. Hey, how nicely did my hair comb out? Look at that. Ooh, look at that. Except for that back, a little something cowlick or something going on back there doing its own thing. But the rest of it looking pretty good there. But I look like I'm drunk with that Rocher. I'm making my face all pink. Calling me white. I'm not white, I'm pink. All right. Hey, folks, let's say hello to everybody. Thank you, Dylan. Dylan Kumberg is here. Light Rain is in from the West Coast. Christo Els, Teresa. Christo, are you the one that had the gentleman call me about my internet? If so, I'm trying to remember if it was you. Thank you for the intervention there. Somebody did. We talked it over, and I mean, I came up with my own solution, but his ideas were good, so I'll keep them in mind. Eric is here. Meerkat is back. Welcome to. Teresa's in from Kleinmond as opposed to Grossmont. That's just like in German, Kleinmond, little moon. Anyway, although I don't think it means moon, the same in Afrikaans. Monray Siebert's in from Cape Town. Smee again is here again. Richard Kuhn, welcome to you. Garrett Gillich, Somerset West, Gypsy Backpackers. Alan Coates, George Steinberg in from Heckport. And Richard thanked me, but I got it wrong, so correct the record there. Gerhard is Stina Kamp, welcome to you. Good afternoon to you. Good evening. Neville said missed last night, but here I am. Well, you can always go back and watch it, play in the background, give me some more credit for the views. 15 days from Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. Just 15 days. Rudolph says 15 more days. All right, we're getting there. What's with the horrible accent? Who's got a horrible accent? Gypsy. Tony Nage in from the western confines, not really confined, wide open spaces of Canada, the 51st state. Trump and Trudeau having a little bit of fun there. Trump anyway. It wasn't Christo, it was someone else, okay? Adolf had his barber with him on his train journeys. Well, my barber is stationary. I have to get to her. So, do you not like the hair, Garrett? This is probably about the maximum length where I still can tolerate it. After this, I got to get a little bit shorter. But, yeah, pretty. Hey, look, you know, I'm turning almost a magic number here in a few days, and it's all there. It's all mine. It's thick. It's luxurious. And so, you know, other than the color being a little bit different than it used to be strawberry blonde, then it was brown, then it was dark chestnut, and eventually it started turning this silver colored. But silver-haired fox, that's what they call us, fellas. Anyway, Eric is here. Good to see you there, Erica. Rich, who else we got there? Thick head of hair. It is indeed Meerkat. And the best part about this is I'm not hirsute. I don't have hairy body parts. This is minimal hair here, normal sort of thing. But don't have the hairy back Mary sort of stuff going on, which is nice. This is nice. Thank goodness my DNA provided well for me there, because that was not something that I'm interested in. Hey, Janet, how's it going in South Carolina? Is your weather a little bit better than here is here in Pennsylvania? Hey, let's get right into it. First off, remember I cautioned you about the hiring by Elon Musk of Linda Yaccarino, because she's a wokester. Well, in fact, she's proving she's a wokester, folks. She's proving that she's a wokester.
Good afternoon, and welcome.
What the heck is that?
This webinar.
I got a webinar just started. Don't need that. So nice to sit back and relax after traveling 1,800 miles a day. Wow, Krista, that's a long distance. Twitter, or X's Linda Yaccarino, supports government-mandated identification to use the internet. Yep, that's right. Twitter, the free speech platform, is trying to intrude into your privacy. These people have no right. And Marsha Blackburn, did she fall on her head when we weren't watching? Wow, the conservative Republican from Tennessee has lost her mind and therefore must be called out for this. CEO Linda Yaccarino champions updates to COSA, but critics warn age verification digital IDs threaten privacy, anonymity, and free expression, because they do. Wow. As the legislative session nears its conclusion, Twitter CEO Linda Yaccarino has announced her role in revising the Kids Online Safety Act, a move seemingly intended to sway hesitant Republican leaders in the House. But skeptics warn the bill's approach to protecting children online through measures likely to require age verification could come at the cost of privacy and online anonymity. Yep, also lead to much more identity theft. Under COSA, tech platforms will face a duty of care to prevent harm to minors, targeting features like infinite scroll and photo filters. While Senators Richard Blumenthal, Connecticut Democrat, a vile human being, and Marsha Blackburn, Republican, Tennessee, lauded the updates for safeguarding free speech online, ensuring that it's not used to stifle expression, privacy advocates argue the bill's underlying mechanisms remain problematic. Online anonymity and will jeopardize free expression. Owner of X, Elon Musk, has recently criticized Australia for trying to implement a similar bill. Yet his CEO at Twitter is doing the exact same garbage at Twitter. Yeah. So them forcing you to register with ID means that data is now theirs. Now all you have to do to sign up for a Google account is give an email address, and give your name and your age, and that's pretty much it. They want copies of your identification so that they can allow it to be compromised online by thieves. That's not their objective, but that's the end result. This is dangerous. It is not the responsibility of the state to monitor your offspring. It is not the responsibility of the state or the community to raise your offspring. It is your responsibility. It is not my responsibility as a taxpayer to be responsible for your heathens running around. That's your responsibility. You knock boots, you fertilize the egg, you raise the child. It's your responsibility. I already pay taxes to educate the little bastards. Nothing else on me. Oh, did that come across as harsh? No, actually, I love kids. But seriously, it's not the state's place to intrude. We already have enough state intrusion into the responsibility of parents, usurping authority. California, taking in children who flee their parents because they want to give themselves, life-altering surgeries when they're minors and not capable of making such decisions. It is wrong for the state. And Linda Yaccarino needs an attitude adjustment. And Elon Musk needs to focus a little bit more on X and a little bit less on Doge so that we don't wind up with no freedom of speech. Yep. Gnarly urchin, says Garrett. With me, it was a race between grayness and baldness from the age of 22. Fortunately, gray won. Yeah, and you're a fine-looking gentleman there, Ken, I must say. Right. Michael says 100%. Yep. Yeah, Alan, you're in the same boat, man. Hair's growing like weeds. That's good. I don't think my ID will get stolen and have too many names. Musk was very vocal against the Aussie bill, so why does he not put his employees in their place? Thank you, Neville. Thank you very much. And we need to call X to account on this. We need to call Twitter to account on this. We need to expose this every time. Gerardus says, do you have children? Gerardus, I have 46 children in 16 African countries, and I have major need for super chats to pay for the Ebola. It's killing me. It's absolutely killing me. The Ebola is just killing me. I don't have cattle, so I have to use cash. Or diamonds. Maybe I should contact Louis Liebenberg, get some diamonds, and I can give those out for Ebola. Oh, my goodness. Minister Dean McPherson from the Democratic Alliance launches a probe into alleged oxygen plant corruption for hospitals. Wow. Public Works and Infrastructure Minister Dean McPherson has launched an independent investigation into the Independent Development Trust over corruption allegations related to the $836 million PSA oxygen plant tender. Wow. So another billion rand pilfered by corrupt behavior in South Africa. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. An investigation into alleged explosive device at a Jewish community center in Cape Town. The anti-Semites are now becoming violent in South Africa. The city of Cape Town said its Metro Police are assisting the SAPS with investigation into alleged explosive device at a Jewish community center on Friday, December 6th. Cape Town Mayor Jordan Hill Lewis said its office received notification from SAPS of a report that an alleged explosive device had been thrown over the front wall of the Jewish community center in Hatfield Street. Wow. Though our investments in various safety technologies such as CCTV, automatic number plate recognition, gunfire detection, and eye-in-the-sky aerial surveillance, the city is able to recover hundreds of firearms through gunfire detection, find lost or injured persons, and assist others. But that has nothing to do with explosive devices, so it's not really going to help you there, is it? Anyway, basic foods and shampoo and shower for the criminal miners in Stilfontein. And they're still trying to make them look like good people, these NGOs. Basic foods first. Mayonnaise and sauce can wait. Makua to minors. Illegal miners ask for washing powder, bath soap, and roll-on deodorant. It must be pretty stinky down there. The request for mayonnaise and tomato sauce by Zamba-Zambas remain underground in conditions of starvation symbolize the broader struggles for dignity that communities excluded from the mainstream economy are engaged with day to day. I'm sorry, Ernest Mabuza, you are a leftist fraud, buddy. This guy actually writes this with a straight face. The request for mayonnaise and tomato sauce by illegal miners who remain underground in Stilfontein in conditions of starvation symbolizes the broader struggles for dignity that communities excluded from the mainstream economy are engaged with every day. Who's excluding anybody from the economy? They're not excluded. They chose to go down there and make money in the mine. That was their choice, unless they were kidnapped and put in there. They're not excluded. This is just drivel. The Times Live. You just got spanked, by the way. By the way, Sunday Times finally had to publish an apology. Let me see if I can find that. Here it is. This is in the Sunday Times. It's a retraction and apology, but it's bogus. It's not a real apology. So let's take a look at that real quick before we can finish this other story. So this was published on December 8th. Retraction apology to AfriForum. In the Sunday World edition of August 25th, under the headline, Macho, we pillared lobby group AfriForum as our Macho of the Week for not condemning the killing of farm workers in Limpopo, which was a lie. We also stated as a fact that they had complained about white genocide in South Africa, which is also a lie. We have been alerted that AfriForum had previously brought a similar case about the alleged genocide to the Press Council's attention and won it. Thus, we hereby retract the association of AfriForum with the white genocide campaign. Correct. We also stated that AfriForum refused to cry foul about murder of black people, which is an outright lie. AfriForum lodged a complaint with the Press Council, arguing that it did not refuse to cry foul. Deputy Press Ombudsman Franz Kruger ruled in AfriForum's favor, stating that the word refused means the organization declined to do so entirely and ordered Sunday World to retract and apologize for the piece. Other elements of the complaint were dismissed. Well, what were those elements? Sunday World apologized to AfriForum for the embarrassment and inconvenience the piece may have caused. The full ruling is available. Well, that's a pretty half-hearted, half-assed apology. And quite frankly, they did the minimum. They are doing race hustling and intentionally insulting AfriForum to try to destroy the reputation, and you can't replace the reputational damage done by this nonsense. Now, the Daily Maverick was forced to apologize by the Press Council too regarding the Pretoria Girls' School, but has refused to do so. They have not done so yet. Yeah, back to the illegal miner story. Every time a rope went down to extract miners from Shaft 11, it came out with people, either a dead body or a miner hanging on for dear life. This, along with the numerous letters calling for a speedy recovery, is ample testimony that they desperately want to come out. If the government did not intervene, the rescue operation facilitated by the community members was likely to finish only 3 months from now, judging from the number of people who can be extracted in a day. Yeah, from all the letters we've seen that emerged from the shaft, the miners are humbly making requests in a situation in which they are trapped underneath the earth, and where their human dignity has been greatly impaired by the continuing refusal of the state to start the extraction operation. That's a lie. Over 1,400 miners have been removed from the mine and detained and arrested. So this is just a lie. And shame on you. Shame on you, Ernst Mabuse, for printing garbage. Garbage. Well, the Education Department in Gauteng stands behind its race hustling as it attacks Pretoria School for Girls. Yep. Education Department stands by Pretoria High School for Girls racism probe as saga spills over into court. Well, it should go to court because these people need to be charged, and the South African Human Rights Commission needs to intervene. The South African Human Rights Commission should be charging a lawsuit against the Department of Education in Gauteng province for its race hustling and the undermining the dignity of white students for its bogus, false racism allegations and claims. But they won't do that because they're not a legitimate organization. They are the litigious arm of the ANC. Yep. Last month, the SGB turned down the Gauteng High School in Pretoria with an urgent bid to be heard on December 10th to force the department to hand over a full report. They refused to hold over the full report because they found that they weren't racist and they just lied about them. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, correctional services need an astounding amount of money just to meet basic needs. And new Minister Peter Groenewald, I started to say Herbert Groenemeyer, Peter Groenewald needs $36 billion to address overcrowding. That's a shocking amount of money. Correctional Services Minister Peter Groenewald has revealed the department requires an estimated $36 billion in capital allocation to construct new correctional centers to end overcrowding. This requires construction of 100 new correctional centers with a bed space capacity of 500 each, or alternatively 50 new with a space for 1,000 each. Wow. I don't think that Minister Groenemeyer is going to get $36 billion for building prisons. The ANC won't build schools. Why would they build prisons? One school built in the past year. One school in the entire country. Jonathan thinks that the government should close Israel's embassy in Pretoria, but he gives no basis for his opinion. The ANC, the EFF, and even the IFP are arguing for less transparency in political donations, something that South Africa does not need. According to Business Tech, several political parties and interest groups have called for increasing South Africa's political donation threshold, which will significantly impact party funding transparency. The Portfolio Committee on Home Affairs is reviewing submissions on a resolution to grant the president the authority to set the upper limit and minimal disclosure threshold for donor funds that a political party or independent candidate may receive annually. They want to raise it significantly. Right now, it's a 15 million rand a year limit from a single donor and a 100,000 declaration threshold. 100,000. So you don't have to tell the government you've given money to a political candidate or political party unless you go over 100,000 rand. Seriously? Seriously? That's $5,000. That's insane. We have to report all political donations, every single one. There's no threshold. So ANC wants the upper limit to be 30 million instead of 15 million. They want the minimum disclosure double from 100,000 to 200,000. The EFF wants the upper limit to be raised to 100 million. Now, for a party that claims it can't raise money, why would they want 100 million threshold? Because somebody's been giving them a lot of money under the table. That's a 566% increase over the current threshold of 15 million. And they want to raise the minimum threshold for reporting, so you wouldn't have to tell the government that you gave money to a political candidate to try to influence them or to buy their vote unless you gave more than 1 million rand. IFP wants it raised to 25 million, it's more modest, and 250,000. So, but this is not good for South Africa's politics. Let them try. The Democratic Alliance insists the Basic Education Ministry is not going to have its minister removed. As the deadline approaches for the implementation of the BELA, the notorious Basic Education Laws Amendment Act, Democratic Alliance has warned the ANC that removing Basic Education Minister Garuba from the National Department is not an option. Two things. On the firing of Minister Garuba, they must try. The Basic Education Ministry is a Democratic Alliance ministry. Nobody gets to tell Democratic Alliance who gets to occupy that seat, says DA spokesman Karibu Kakao. DA has decided that we have 100% in the Minister Garuba. Okay, well, here's the problem. Let's just correct the Democratic Alliance right now. I noticed that my video on the Democratic Alliance got no views on Rabin Thiglin. No views, not even 400 views a day later on one of the biggest stories in South Africa. This guy who sent sexting messages to a minor who he had influence and authority over. It's an abuse of authority, and the DA keeps this in their ranks. Is the DA able to censor my contact through somebody they know in South Africa? One has to wonder. I mean, that video normally get tons of views. If it was about Mark Liffman, I'd have tens of thousands of views. But I write about Rabin Thiglin and expose what's been going on, and no views on that. No views. Unbelievable. Well, let's talk about the DA. It's not your ministry. First off, let's just be very clear here. Who the hell does this spokesperson for the Democratic Alliance think he is? The Basic Education Ministry doesn't belong to the Democratic Alliance, just like DERCO doesn't belong to the ANC. These offices belong to the people of South Africa, you dingbat doorknob. The people of South Africa, not the Democratic Alliance, not the IFP, not the Pan-African Congress, not Rise Mzansi, and certainly not the ANC. They belong to the people of South Africa. You may be occupying as a temporary resident at the good graces of the people of South Africa through the office of the president, but it is not your ministry, Democratic Alliance. So this is another reason why this party is untrustworthy. They keep accused pedos, accused texters. They keep people who abuse their position of authority in office despite finding prima facie evidence that they're complete, bold-faced, serial, pathological liars. They keep them and allow. That guy still keeps his ward councilor seat, or he has ward councilor, his proportional ward or proportional council seat. He still has a seat in the council in Georgia. He hasn't been removed. He should have been removed and kicked out of the party and referred to law enforcement for criminal charges. But the DA keeps the person there. Wow. This is what I predicted, unfortunately, with the DA. They would be drunk on power and would do anything to stay in government because they've never been in government, except in the Western Cape. And a few municipalities which they cocked up, except for Nelson Mandela Bay. That one they ran well. And Midrand, the other one they ran well. Political donations will be accepted in non-sequential bill stuff furniture. Yeah, far too many useless parties. Yeah, they sure do. They sure do. They sure do. Anything smaller than the Freedom Front Plus, just be gone. Just be gone. It shouldn't even be a party. That would trim it down significantly. Minister in the presidency, Kumbuzu Nchevene, falsely declares that South Africa is not a haven for terrorists. Well, of course it's a haven for terrorists. And who does she think she's kidding? This is just comical. And who is she? What does she know? Is she an intelligence officer? Is she an analyst? Does she have access to sources, methods? No, she doesn't. She's just a talking mouthpiece, and a terrible one at that. An absolutely terrible one at that. Inchevani says ASA is no haven for terrorists, prioritizes national security interests. State security agencies on top of all matters related to terrorism financing in South Africa, according to the Minister of the Presidency, Kumbutsu Nchevani. Without revealing past experiences, access to contradictory information, what she just lied about, I can simply rely on publicly available information from the Financial Task Force. That's why South Africa is graylisted, because it's a haven for financing for terror groups. That's why you're graylisted. Your financial controls are inadequate, it's a money laundering center, and it's a haven for terrorism financing, despite what this liar says. She lies, she lies, she lies. She lies, she lies, lies. Responding to a written parliamentary question from MK Party member Nolomo Ndela, she said that state security agencies would continue to prioritize comprehensive investigative efforts aimed at determining the veracity of such allegations. And the allegations were that it's a haven for terrorists. Both in the media and research reports lack substantial evidence, according to her. Well, let me just tell you this. No one lacks substantial evidence for the fact that South Africa is a haven. It's a logistical hub for T groups around the world. Quite frankly, it is. It is. That's no secret. But they will deny that because they can't tell you that otherwise. They'd scare people. So there you go. There you go. I don't know why that has to be news, because we all know it's the case. So do you get tax return for donation to a political party? You do get no money for donating money to a political party. It's not a tax exempt. I don't think it's tax exempt. Well, it's a disaster. We hear from Tani Pat. Finally, she speaks up, this time over. By the way, News 24 gave her an 8 out of 10 for her performance as tourism minister. Are they high? Are they high? I've received, like, how many times I've been in South Africa in the past 3 years? 6? I've spent about 8 months in South Africa in the past 3 years, roughly speaking. I don't receive any emails. They have my email information. I don't receive any texts for tourism. I don't receive any notices about coming to South Africa for the Netball World Cup or coming for the EPCR Champions Cup and Challenge Cup or games. I don't see anything for coming to Currie. I don't see anything for coming to go to Kruger, anything coming to go to, even the LGBTQ parade in Cape Town. Nothing. South Africa's tourism promotion efforts are atrocious, absolutely atrocious, and its minister is useless. And they called her 8 out of 10 on a performance. I think they got that inverse. It's 2 out of 10. Anyway, she says the fuel situation in OR Tambo yesterday was horrible. It's a disaster. Minister of Tourism Patricia de Lille lashed out at Airports Company South Africa following refueling problems at OR Tambo that caused flight delays. Operations are back to normal, but she said the damage has already been done considering it's peak season for traveling and domestic and international travelers were inconvenienced. I think this is a disaster. The impact and knock-on effect for tourists and also business trade people. People miss connecting flights. Some people have been paying for the whole year, saving up money to go on a decent holiday. No contingency plan in place for the peak high season, at least to expect the airports company to do is maintenance on all their fuel lines, on their planes and everything. I can understand the frustration of so many people. Yeah, she's right. She's right. An Airports Company South Africa is not a for-profit organization. It is a state-run patronage project. And there you have your reason why it's a failure. Yep. Well, more information on the murder for hire that killed an innocent young man, Mr. Swat, Aman Swat. Murder value chain. Santon businessman has now been linked to the Transnet whistleblowing killing. Katiso Molefe, a Santon businessman, is charged with murder, conspiracy, and possession of illegal firearms after being arrested in connection with the slaying of Armand Swart. The murder plot's linked to the whistleblowing report exposing 4,650% price gouging in a Transnet contract involving a small railway component. He allegedly worked with Detective Michael Pouletau and others to form a hit squad with evidence pointing to a complex murder-for-hire scheme. And they killed the wrong person. The morons killed this innocent man, Armand Swart, who wasn't the whistleblower. 30-year-old father. Well, away from the bad news and some good news for a change, a South African who got tired of working in a call center said, I'm hurtful with this, and decided to do something about it. He decided to become South Africa's first black salesman of olive oil. Well, there's a concept. He quit his job, took out a loan, and drove 9,000 kilometers to chase his dream. And it worked! When Loiso Munga decided to quit his job so he could go on a road trip promoting his business, he didn't know he would run out of money a third of the way in. Well, poor planning, brother. But that's what happened in the middle of the pandemic. Today, his olive oil business, Ubuntu, is listed in 2 national retailers and won a silver award at the New York International Olive Oil Competition. All started with the risk of chasing down a South African dream. 4 years ago, back in 2020, he was working for a call center in Deep River. By his own admission, he was gatvol. Up to that point, he tried his hand at a few business ventures in Eastern Cape, but it repeatedly failed. But in the background, he had a dream to be the first black-owned olive oil business in South Africa, a business he had already established, but now he wanted to go all in. So he quit his day job at the call center, took out 240,000 Rand loan, hired a panel van, which he could brand, and decided to take the road trip of a lifetime in the middle of level 1 lockdown. He plotted a one-man marketing tour up the East Coast from Cape Town to the Eastern Cape to Durban, then through Gauteng into Mpumalanga and back. He spent his days securing 1,000 bottles of his Ubuntu olive oil to sell and spent nights in his garage labeling them. In each region, he would do his activations around town. He said, my wife wasn't too happy. My mother hated the idea and thought it was unsafe. She thought the vehicle wouldn't even make it past Philipsdorp. But it was a game changer. People loved the idea of seeing and touching and taking pictures while being at home during the pandemic. The idea of his core of his idea was marketing. He wanted to associate the brand with locals. Olive oil is a high-value product, and for it to be associated with ordinary South Africans and the black middle class made the idea of taking a picture with him on his tour all the social rage. Yep. But 2 weeks into the 6-week trip, he began to run out of money. His small war chest got him only to East London. He still had activation after activation to execute on the various towns. He said, I had the biggest difficulty in KZN going through all those toll gates. It was the biggest nightmare. My card declined a couple of times, and I had to stay at those toll gates and sell my bottles because I just didn't want to have money. I still needed to accommodate myself wherever I went. Still needed petrol, and the last thing on my mind was going through 5 toll gates, and that just butchered me. But by the end of the trip, he'd sold 600 bottles and returned with just 400. But the return investment was invaluable thanks to the exposure it garnered of him. It didn't make a lot of money, but it appeared on ENCA, Radio 2000, and other shows, and some of those relationships I still have today. Yep, he decided no going back. And today, he's a businessman selling olive oil. Congratulations to him. Well done. Now, there you go, folks. So we're being told by the other gentleman on the Times Live that these miners have no choice. They're forced, they're excluded from the economic community. This guy wasn't excluded. He managed to secure a loan. He managed to travel the country and put it all on the line and take a risk. And now he's doing okay. He's doing okay. So screw these race hustling scumbags who lie about what's going on in South Africa. So we just got a super chat. I haven't seen it come up yet on the screen. Did it come up or did I miss it? Alert. Oh, it's off. Okay, that's why. My bad. African Idiot just gave 350 Rand super chat. Thank you for that. 2 packets of salty cracks. You pay for the freight charges to somewhere in Africa. Thank you for that, African Idiot. It's a big super chat too. Thank you for that, brother. That's the first time. Gosh, we haven't had super chats in days. In fact, let me look and see the last time we had any super chats on this channel. We have made no money. A little bit of advertising coin in the past few days, but very little. I think the last time, Friday, we got a little bit. Saturday, Sunday, yeah. Last time we had anything close to this was on Wednesday, the 4th of December. Wow. So this is the biggest. That single super chat makes for the biggest super chat day all month. 1/3 of the way through the month. And your super chat, African Idiot, represents the largest daily total in 10 days. 1 super chat. Thank you for that. It also speaks volumes about how this channel isn't how I make a living. That's for sure. The state helped pay more. What's this? Pay more of my education than the black boy would have been sponsored by the apartheid government. Same time, if all South Africans had the same education, no corruption. There'd still be corruption. People are dishonest. There's always going to be corrupt people. By the way, people might be curious about what my kid is today. I'm wearing a Berlin jersey with the zones of occupation. The Soviet over here, the French there, the British and American. French, British, American, and Soviet. Berlin. Anyway. Yep. Right. James Booley's here. Welcome, James. Good to see you there. Thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate that. Very much so. All right. So, yeah. So, congratulations to Loiso Manka for a fantastic effort there. I'll see if I can't reach out and find him. Yep. And see if I can't find him and just interview him. It's not an arrogance to make other people feel small about themselves, but it's an arrogance to tell yourself to F it, I can do this. Huh? Yeah, he said he had fun. So, cool. All right. Well, that's pretty interesting. Well done to him and his olive oil. It's a good news story. Also refutes all the garbage we hear. Well, the South African Post. What the heck was that? That was the wrong thing. South African Postal Service has spent $175 million in business rescue, in bankruptcy hearings. Most of it's gone to consultants. More money wasted. Just liquidate the damn thing. South African Post Office business rescue process has so far cost the taxpayer 175 million Rand. 82% of that money, $144 million, went to consultants. Wow. Just $2 million was spent on disbursements. So nothing was done to eradicate the bankruptcy. Well, broken streetlights, dry water taps, but hey, we got 800,000 rand to waste on a festive lighting ceremony in Petersburg. Petersburg residents are up in arms after the city spent 800,000 on a festive lights switch-on event. They say the money could have been put to better use. While the taps in Petersburg / Polokwane have run dry, streetlights are broken and service delivery is almost non-existent. The city invited locals via Facebook to a live music celebration at the Polokwane Civic Center from 4 to 5 on Friday and promised free entry with a lineup of popular local artists including Charisma, Limpopo Boy, and Mapulo Moyompayo. But residents were not impressed, and in the comment section, they voiced their frustration at the lack of services in the municipality instead. Who cares about paying artists to come light the Christmas lights? How about you fix the streets and turn the water on? And they're right. South Africa has once again closed its border with Mozambique. Crazy. South Africa suspended operations main border crossing with Mozambique, a key coal and chrome export hub, as election-related protests flared in Mozambique. Demonstrators on the Mozambican side, angered by the result of the country's October 9th elections, blocked the route that often processed more than 1,000 trucks a day en route to Maputo's port. The Lambombo port of entry has halted operations for general cargo processing and passenger movement, South Africa's Border Management Authority said in a statement yesterday. Transporters are urged not to dispatch new vehicles to the port until further notice. Well, that's going to have a devastating impact on South Africa's economy. A constitutional court in Zambia has declared that Edgar Lunga's partial first term counts as a term and he cannot serve as president again. Bad news for Mr. Lungu. He served 20 months by succession after the death of Michael Sata, who died in office. He was accused by President Hichilema of using the law to avoid an electoral showdown with him in 2026. But the court has decided that he is no longer eligible. Our combined interpretation of the Constitution is that the president's respondent's term of office from 25 January 2015 to September 2016 constitute a term of office. That makes Lungu's elected stint from 2016 to 2021 his second and final allowed under Zambian law. Wow, he assumed office when Michael Sata died suddenly in October 2014. Well, he didn't assume it in 2014. He assumed it in 2015. In the interregnum for the 90 days, what happened was the vice president, the white dude, took over. The most recent white African ruler. Well, Steve Hansen has rubbished the Springboks' victory in the World Cup, and he's getting tarnished badly for his conduct. Steve Hansen claims the All Blacks were robbed of World Cup, shot down by fans. Sir Steve Hansen has boldly claimed the All Blacks were robbed in the 2023 World Cup final against the Springboks in Paris. Wow, the 65-year-old former All Blacks head coach previously talked about the Sam Cane red card in the final, outlining his thoughts around how the All Blacks were unfortunate in Paris. This is a team that should have won the World Cup. They were robbed of the World Cup as far as I'm concerned, and some poor decisions were out of their control, which cost them a World Cup. To which I have to say, World Rugby should be sanctioning Steve Hansen and banning him from rugby operations for 2 years, a la Rassie Erasmus. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, but it won't be. New Zealanders like Warren Gatland and Steve Hansen can moan all they want about officiating, and there are no consequences. Rassie Erasmus, simply someone leaks a video, and he is banned from rugby because they want to destroy South Africa, which is the world's best rugby nation. Botswana's economy is in bad shape. Well, duh. Thank you for that news flash there, Lennon Ndebele. Well aware of that. Been telling you that for 4 years. Yep. Botswana's economy is in such bad shape, Deputy President Finance Minister Ndaba Gwalate has told Parliament, but with hard work and sometimes uncomfortable measures, the new administration can clean up the undesirable mess it inherited. But here's the thing. There was no mess when Ian Khama left office. The country was in good shape. It's only under Makwetsi Eric Masisi that things went sideways. By the way, they're investigating him now for corruption. Yep. Under former ruling party, the Botswana Democratic Party, the government had been spending wildly above its means. He said the expenditure equivalent of around $11 billion per month, while receipts were some $2.65 billion. Wow. They were spending 5 times their monthly income. That's insane. That didn't happen under Khama. When diamond revenue disappeared in 2008 in the global financial crisis, Khama tightened the belts of the government, took out an international loan because they had good credit, and then paid the loan back. Wow. In fact, all that kind of rate of financial hemorrhaging, this path leads to financial implosion of magnitude such as countries never experienced. Correct. This year, the economy could shrink by 1.7%. Wow. The government lied in its forecast in February and it claimed there would be 4.2% growth. I think you're going to see even greater contraction in Botswana's economy. Things are going to get very difficult there, and the new government's going to be blamed for it, but it's a consequence of Masisi and his cronies who destroyed Botswana in so many ways. Well, Mozambique is causing problems for Eswatini as well as sugar exports pile up. Look at this long queue of trucks that goes on for kilometers. A drone view shows stranded trucks at the side of the road near the Limbombo border outside Mbombela. In the wake of political turmoil and protests in Mozambique, Eswatini's sugar industry has faced disruptions. Eswatini's sugar industry depends heavily on a terminal at the port of Maputo. This terminal, jointly owned by Eswatini, South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique, has been vital to the country's sugar industry since the mid-1990s. Yep. The other option is to send it through Durban, but that's not much better. Durban sucks. It's a terribly managed port, one of the worst in the world. Turning our attention further afield in Syria, after ousting Bashar al-Assad, Syrian rebels impose order in Damascus. When the regime of Bashar al-Assad collapsed over the weekend without a fight, Damascus slipped into a power vacuum that saw the pillaging of the deposed president's ornate palace, some government buildings, and the homes of high-ranking officials. But hours later, after Assad fled, Syria, organized rebel forces entered the capital and began attempting to restore order. Gunmen from one of the largest groups from the north curbed looting and set up checkpoints to confiscate stolen goods, including furniture, electronics, and home appliances. Well, that's good news. Maybe they're legitimate, even though we've designated them a terror group. Well, President Netanyahu appeared in court in his corruption trial for the first time. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu took the stand on Tuesday, testifying in his long-running corruption trial, even as he manages a multi-front war. Netanyahu will be the first sitting Israeli Prime Minister to testify in his own trial, was indicted in 2019 for corruption, fraud, breach of trust, charges he denies. Despite repeatedly requesting extension because of the war, the court said he must be available to testify 3 times a week for 6 hours at a time over the next few weeks. Wow. The trial is a reminder of the deep divisions in Israeli society over Netanyahu's leadership. Yeah, well, people are just going after him. A massive volcanic eruption on an island in the Philippines has led to the evacuation of 90,000 people from Negros. Wow. After Mount Canloan spewed deadly ash and lava. Check that out, folks. It's time-lapse video from Mount Canloan erupting on the central island of Negros in the Philippines. That is hectic. Look at that. That ash just blows away the clouds. That is crazy. All right, what's going on over here in the chat? State helped. Okay, I read that already. Nice shirt, says Erica. Thank you. It was just shocking insult to injury, considering we were supposed to be conserving energy after all the load shedding. What's that? Where's your super chat? Yeah, I want any stripper chats here. Just everyone. Cheers, you just got a bonus and seriously need to get out for a while. Oh, it's me again, got a bonus. Congratulations. Well, you didn't super chat, so we wouldn't know you got a bonus. Port Gutierrez, 45 kilometers, Petersburg, has no water in a suburb for 5 days. Thank goodness for a borehole, yep. Rian says South Africa is a crap hole story since 94. Yeah. Wonder how much money the ANC government spent on consultants since 94. Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah, Debbie's here. Says hit the like button. Post office shares went to black people only. Us whites were not allowed to buy post office shares. Years later, now the post holding out for begging bowl. Trump are spot on. South Africa. Okay. Meerkat success story a while ago about a car guard who used his earnings to pay for his studies, received public education degree. Where there's a will, there's always a way. Yep, exactly. Break away from the victim mentality. Richard says, BS, I've walked straight through customs at more than one trip back from outside the country, stamp the passport, and walk out the airport. Which customs? Certainly not UK customs. Neville says post office shares, but also multi-choice shares. So yeah, only blacks were allowed to buy. Yep, exactly right. Well, in France, you turn our attention to La France. Marine Le Pen. She's ready. Yep. After ousting the prime minister, the far-right leader has made clear her next target is Emmanuel Macron, and I hope she is successful. Yep. The one-on-one duel that has shaped French political life for nearly a decade ratcheted up a notch last week with the far-right leader Marine Le Pen claiming one big scalp and giving notice of going after the bigger one, President Emmanuel Macron. Wow, no one is doubting that she's calling the shots. Yet by Monday, Macron had relegated Ms. Le Pen to her party. He called them the anti-immigrant national rally to a pariah. He did not deign to meet with her in his search for a new prime minister to replace the one she had largely ousted. Well, Emmanuel Macron is short for this political world. United Kingdom's government pauses on sending Syrians back, even though their government is gone. Oh, latest UK Home Office figures show just 5,548 Syrians apply for asylum in the year. 4,069 were granted protection in that same period. But they paused the decisions on asylum claims after his ousting. Well, they should be sending the Syrians home. Yep. The British Home Secretary Yvette Cooper said decision-making would be put on hold while events unfold in Damascus, following the lead from other countries like Austria, Germany, Sweden, and France. We know the situation is moving extremely fast with the fall of the Assad regime. We've seen some people returning to Syria. We also have a very fast-moving situation. Closely monitor that. Well, Europeans are asking, why are Syrians still in their midst? Send them home. We'll send the Afghans home. They've got a new government, the Taliban. Days after Syria's autocratic leader fled the country, European politicians reignited debate over the region's decades-old refugee crisis. Germany and Austria said they were putting asylum applications by Syrians on hold. Others, including Denmark, Sweden, Finland, and the UK, have followed suit. In Austria, Interior Minister Gerhard Kahner said he instructed officials to prepare an orderly repatriation deportation program. Oh yeah, deportation is becoming the word of the day. And this is after the atrocious behavior of Syrians on church property, in facilities, in the streets, dancing and threatening people, putting fireworks up. Their atrocious behavior across Europe in major capital cities over the past several days. They love Syria so much, go back to Syria. They love Palestine so much, go back to Palestine. Yep, and stop undermining the country you're in, like Ireland. Well, with Trump coming back, Joe Biden is going to try to convince us today that his economic policy, Bidenomics, actually works. Well, good luck on that one. Donald Trump set to return to the White House next month. Joe Biden plans to deliver a speech Tuesday on his own economic legacy. He'll be at the Brookings Institute, a leftist think tank, and remarks on his middle-out, bottom-up economic playbook. Yeah. Well, good luck with that, Joe Biden, because it's been a disaster. You're the worst president in the history of this republic. Daniel Penny, a man falsely accused of murder because of his skin color in a racist case brought by Alvin Bragg, one of the biggest racists we can possibly find, based on his selective prosecution by letting black folks who stab homeless people go on the subway, and putting this man who protected black and brown folks on a subway from being harmed by a dangerous, mentally disturbed person, only charged with a crime because he's white. The black man who held him down, held the arms of the gentleman, was not charged with a crime. The Hispanic guy who also held him down was not charged. Only Daniel Penny was charged with Jordan Neely's death, but he has been found not guilty of criminally negligent homicide. The case sparked discussions on public safety, race relations, and New York City's handling of homelessness and mental health. Yep, the charge of criminally negligent homicide carries a maximum sentence of 4 years and no minimum sentence compared to the 15 years he faced if he would have been convicted of manslaughter. On Friday, at least one juror was willing to hold Penny to account for a higher charge, said a former federal prosecutor. Surprising, this juror was then willing to declare him not guilty on a lesser serious charge. Yep, well, there you go. This happened in 2023. This man's life has been turned upside down for being a good Samaritan. Breaking news out of Washington, D.C., where scumbag director of the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Incompetence, Christopher Wray, who spies and oppresses American citizens, abusing the law and violating the Constitution, Christopher Wray is close to announcing his resignation because he knows he's going to be gone. FBI Director Christopher Wray plans to resign on or before Inauguration Day. He's calling quits because he doesn't want to get fired by Trump. Yep. Well, good. Hang around. I'd love for him to say, "You're fired." Should have done it to Comey. Well, federal officials arrested a Chinese national who has been flying drones over the Vandenberg Space Force Base. Yimpao Shao was arrested in San Francisco International Airport just before boarding a flight back to China, spying on our space agencies. Federal agents arrested the Chinese national on December 9th, suspected of flying a drone over Vandenberg Space Force Base in California, taking photos of the SpaceX rocket pads on a day when the contractor launched a sensitive national reconnaissance payload. The 39-year-old Chinese national was arrested at the airport as he boarded a flight bound for China. Federal agents alleged in the court document that Zhao arrived in Ocean Park, a park near Vandenberg Air Force Base on November 30th and flew a drone over the base. There you go. DJI Maverick 2 Pro was the model that he was using. Well, I hope he rots in prison. Supreme Court has let us down again. The so-called conservative 6-3 Supreme Court has failed to take on court cases that must be addressed, leaving these issues hanging at lower courts. This is unfortunate. The justice announced yesterday would not take cases on affirmative action, guns, and transgender issues, topics that have sharply divided the nation. Supreme Court declined to hear cases. The justice rejected cases over the objections of conservatives on the court in 2 of the 3 instances, indicating they might be willing to return the issues if they were raised again in future cases. The approval of 4 justices is needed to take up a case. Court said it would not review the admissions policy for 3 competitive public high schools in Boston, turning aside the issue of what role race can play in the selection of student body. Race should play 0 role in the selection of student body. Whites should not be favored, blacks should not be favored, brown should not be favored. Everyone is equal under the 14th Amendment, and the fact that they've refused to take these cases up is disturbing. Disturbing. Conservative Justice Neil Gorsuch said the need for a court to hear the Boston case was greatly diminished because the school district had already revised its admissions policy. Gorsuch wrote that Alito raised valid points about the old plan. Well, it doesn't matter whether it's been resolved. They violated the law, and you must make clear what the law is. Shame on you. Well, Joe Biden apologized to Native Americans for the actions of progressive leftist Americans for over a century, ripping Native American children from their families and sending them to schools to teach them to be good little Westerners. Yeah, including right here at Carlisle Barracks, which is now a national monument, much to our chagrin. He's designated a new monument that will be located at the site of a former Indian boarding school in Pennsylvania, and he's being grilled for this. Being absolutely grilled for it. President Joe Biden on December 9th designated a new national monument to memorialize the federal government's oppression of thousands of Native American children through the boarding school system found in the 19th century. Biden described it as a dark chapter in U.S. history that lasted for 150 years, and it was formulated, led, and executed and implemented by progressive American political actors, not by conservatives. You shamed America with your actions. New Jersey politicians want to know why there are drones flying over their state. There is the ridiculous, criminally negligent human rights abuser, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, still in office despite killing tens of thousands of New Jerseyans by putting COVID-positive patients in hospitals. Look at the wuss wearing his Ukraine pin. Good God. You know someone's woke when you see that nonsense. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy and congressional lawmakers are pressing federal agencies for answers over frustrating sightings of drones in the state skies. Yep. 50 sightings on Sunday alone. This is dangerous, people. Get this under control. Well, the moron who murdered the UnitedHealth executive has been captured right here in Pennsylvania, went right by my house, on his way to Altoona, right by my house, just a few miles away, and then was picked up at a McDonald's, and someone spotted him based on his backpack and turned him in. The cops picked him up in a brilliant operation. So within a couple of days of the brazen assassination of UnitedHealth CEO, we have galvanized law enforcement at the state and local level and federal level. The FBI was involved. We have managed to track down the assailant. And we know more about this guy in 48 hours than we know about the assassin, the attempted assassin from Butler, Pennsylvania, or from the golf course in Florida. We know nothing. The stonewalling by the FBI and by the Homeland Security and by the Department of Injustice is unbelievable. These people need to be criminally charged for their actions as soon as we swap out this broken-ass leftist scumbag government on January 20th. Grand jury should be impaneled on January 21st. Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, all these clowns. Yep. Suspect in the UnitedHealth killing was an Ivy Leaguer with anti-capitalist leanings. An Ivy Leaguer. Well, there's a surprise, not. Looks kind of creepy. The all-out pursuit of the criminal suspect who gripped the public's imagination for nearly a week ended on Monday at a McDonald's in central Pennsylvania, not far from a Greyhound bus station in a nondescript part of the town. Trust me, Altoona is nondescript. A worker there noticed something familiar about a lone customer on Monday and called the local police. Soon the 26-year-old Luigi Mangione, the subject of a massive manhunt, the man suspected of murdering UnitedHealthcare Chief Executive Brian Thompson in Manhattan last week. Yep, he was unmasked and unhooded. And there he is, being taken in. Doesn't look like he even cares. There's the assassination. We're not going to watch that. There you go, Luigi Mangione. He was a fresh-faced valedictorian at a $38,000 a year high school in Baltimore, which he attended from 6th grade until he graduated in 2016. The all-boys school prides itself in educating future senators and governors. Once again, privileged elite scumbag shitheads. This is what they are. That's who the left is. That's who the left is. $38,000 a year. He went to school from grade 6 at a school that costs $38,000. By the way, I have some inside information on this. I don't know if I can disclose yet, so I'll have to get verification. But I know someone who knows the delegate that's related to him and knows the family. So I'm going to see if I can release that information. I don't have permission to release that, but I know someone who knows them. So third, 6 degrees separation. I'm the second degree separation, third degree separation there, or second degree separation. Yeah, $38,000 a year. I did not make $38,000 a year in salary from the time I began working as a teenager in the early 1980s until probably about 1998. So 20 years, my salary never reached $38,000 working, an honest living as a soldier. And he went to a prep school where his parents paid $38,000. He's the only kid they have, by the way. He's the only kid. Wow. From there, he went to the University of Pennsylvania, where he majored in computer science and earned a master's degree. In 2020, he was inducted into an academic honor society reserved for top students in electrical and computer engineering. He was in Greek life. In Maryland, the Mangionis are a well-known Italian-American clan. They founded Lorien Healthcare, senior care company, with services include nurses and assisted living. They also developed Turf Valley Resort, a spa in Ellicott City, and they own Hayfields Country Club. They also own something else, which I can't disclose right now. So, wow. What a scumbag. What a scumbag. Well, Donald Trump has nominated Harmeet Dillon, another Indian, to the DOJ's Civil Rights Division. Throughout her career, Harmeet has stood up consistently to protect our cherished civil liberties, including taking on big tech for censoring free speech, representing Christians who were prevented from praying together during COVID, and suing corporations who use woke policies to discriminate against their workers. So, she will go there and, along with Pam Bondi, going to turn things around. But smart women aren't around Trump. Remember that Mark Cuban comment? Harmeet Dillon, another smart woman, another woman of color. I had another super chat. Oh my goodness, and that one came up. 140 Rand from Moon Bass. Thank you so much for that. That's very kind of you. Wow. Ooh, cool beans. 2 super chats. By the way, African Idiot super chat is still up there. It hasn't quite worn off. 350 Rand. Still there. Wow. By the way, folks, you can comment on the super chat. You can give a like and give it a heart. People do that. Please do that. Thank people for rewarding the channel with that coin. We do appreciate it. So that's awesome. We're definitely the number 1 day of the month now. Yeah, but it didn't take a lot to beat that goal. RFK's war on corn syrup brings a health crusade to Trump's country. Well, to Trump country, where voters are. Well, I agree with this. High fructose corn syrup is a disaster to our diets, to our economy, to our environment. When Donald Trump said Robert Kennedy could go wild on health, he might not have expected his pick for health secretary to battle against the president-elect's own voters. Well, of course he's going to go against some voters. There are things that need to be changed. Archer Daniel's Midland wet mill in the outskirts of Decatur, Illinois looks like an industrial behemoth from the frozen harvested cornfields of central Illinois. Steam billowed in the 20-degree cold last week as workers turned raw corn into sweet, ubiquitous, high fructose corn syrup. 3 miles away, the Primient mill was doing the same thing. Robert Kennedy Jr. Is going after the high fructose corn syrup industry, and he should. It's bad stuff. Look at all that maize lined up to be turned into high fructose corn syrup in Decatur. Oof. Oof. Decatur's Macon Valley gave Trump 59% of its votes in a state where 55% had sided with him. Neighboring DeWitt County gave him 71%. But you know what? I'm sorry. It's wrong. And so is ethanol. It's wrong. Well, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, the victim of another threat, this one a bomb threat, a pipe bomb. It's not the first time she's been targeted. Police in Rome, Georgia were dispatched to Greene's residence due to the threat, which her office said was traced to a Russian IP address. Due to the international nature and severity of this threat, our office is collaborating closely with local and federal law enforcement to ensure the perpetrator is brought to justice. The threat apparently contains pro-Palestinian language, according to screenshots shared by Greene's office. Using a 1x8-inch threaded galvanized pipe and caps, a kitchen timer, some wires, metal clips, and homemade black powder, I've constructed a pipe. Anyway, that's what the message said. I'm not going to read the rest of that because then I'll be the one getting in trouble here. Well, the United States is spending $895 billion on national defense. $895 billion. That would be somewhere in the order of about 16 trillion rand next year for our national defense. Man, oh man, oh man. House and Senate Armed Service Committees have released a 1,813-page bill reconciling their differing National Defense Authorization Act proposals. 1,813-page bill to fund the Department of Defense. You need an army just to understand what's in the bill. Let me give an example. In 2017, the National Defense Authorization Act directed that the United States Army and the military services develop a security cooperation, security assistance system, which I wrote about. I wrote that it was high time in 2017 that this was done. But that was included in the thousands plus pages of that document, that bill. And that led to the publication of this book, among many other things. This is one consequence of that bill. I wrote my chapter in this book on that. So yeah, that's what happens from defense authorization bills. 1,800 pages. Wow. An example? Okay, $849.9 billion for programs on the Department of Defense, $33.3 billion for programs run through the Department of Energy, that's national security, and the Defense Nuclear Facility Safety Board, and $512 million for defense-related activities. It allows up to $11.5 billion for discretionary spending adjustments, bringing the total to $895 billion. Another $26 billion is tied to mandatory programs. The new version includes increased funding for bolster U.S. forces in the Indo-Pacific region with $15.6 billion for the Pacific Deterrence Initiative, $5.7 billion higher than the DoD requested. Other provisions are aimed at reducing the risk of Chinese actors being able to access sensitive U.S. information. The new NDAA fully funds the Columbia-class submarine and the B-21 Raider stealth bomber programs, and a 4.5% pay raise for all active duty troops, and a 14.5% boost for anyone in the rank of E4 and below. And they never did that when I was enlisted. Allowances are increased for cost of living and basic needs of service members. It also bolsters support for child care programs, new facilities, expanding military spouse employment support. Yeah. So, and they say every year the NDA will improve the quality of life for service members and their families. Please spare me. Yep. Anyway, other things were stripped out of the bill. The bill drops hundreds of additional legislative. They put riders in there, legislative riders in there, just trying to do things unrelated to defense. One of them would have required U.S. individuals and business entities to notify the Treasury Department of outbound investments in critical technology sectors in China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea. It has nothing to do with funding the military, but they put it in there. Yep. Another notification would have covered a range of sensitive technology investments, including advanced semiconductors, microelectronics, hypersonic, quantum computing, and artificial intelligence systems. The House had hoped to include a provision codifying a drone corps as a basic component of the U.S. Army, but that measure didn't make it into the new bill. Wow, a drone corps. Well, that's fascinating. So we are actually trying to codify in legislation Skynet, and they want to put it in the Army. I'm all for that. I'll do that. Yikes. It also directs the Secretary of Defense to prepare an assessment of the Mexican military's capabilities to countering transnational criminal organizations and the DoD's counter-narcotic support for Mexican forces by April 1st. So that's not very far. April 1st, they've got to do this. It hasn't even been approved yet, so that's pretty crazy. Yep. The fourth chapter explores security cooperation in Africa from a broad perspective while linking it to the provisions of the fiscal year 2017 National Defense Authorization Act. National Defense Authorization Act. That is what I wrote about it here. So, yep. Let me see if I can't find my chapter here. There it is. Let's see where it gets to that. So, it says 2017 NDA. There it is. Okay. All right, let's see what I say here. Okay, so the problem is that given the challenges lifted above, security cooperation success is often an end state reached through serendipitous means rather than because of a comprehensive, well-conceived, planned, resourced, and executed effort on behalf of U.S. foreign policy. Past successes and a radically new approach to security cooperation under the fiscal year 2017 National Defense Authorization Act signal the possibility of improved coordination and outcomes to achieve U.S. policy goals in the futures. There's a need for clarity in U.S. foreign policy. There you go. Anyway, so that's what I wrote in 2017. Published in 2018. All right, what else we got here? What surprised me is South African farmers aren't planting sweet beet. Yeah, we have sugar beets for that too. And Shawnee says, oh, goody, an example. Can be contracted to heart disease. I don't know what that is, HFCS. Imagine they spent that money on building infrastructure and building your economy. Yeah. Colonel, are you taking a break over Christmas? Nope, I never do, Meerkat. Meerkat, I broadcast on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. I broadcast every day. And in fact, not only will I be broadcasting on Christmas Day, this year it falls on a Wednesday, which sucks because I have a radio program, and we will be broadcasting live Christmas. We'll probably just be having a good time, not so much talking about politics on WNPO. But yeah, I broadcast every day. I do a Christmas show. In fact, I updated the banner. I need to change it because I had the Christmas for the World 2021, and we'll do that again in 2024. So yeah, I don't take a break. I do not take a break. It's my birthday. And the past 3 years, Christmas Day has been the biggest super chat day of the year. As people give me, small and large super chat gifts for my birthday. Yep. So it's pretty cool. So yeah. Well, the Golden Globes are facing major blowback for nominating a transgender for Women or Best Female Actress. Golden Globes face blowback for nominating male-born star Emilia Perez for Best Actress. Carla Sofia Gascon was nominated Monday for Best Performance by a Female Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy for portraying Mexican drug lord who undergoes a gender transition in the 2024 film Emilia Perez. It's the first time the Golden Globes have nominated a male-born entertainer in the female category for movies, but they did so last year for television series. And Michaela Ye Rodriguez underwent it in 2016, took home the Golden Globe for Best Performance by an Actress in Television Series. Well, all I can say is that we just cannot take the Golden Globe seriously. If that's how they view women, it's just something you put on. It's interchangeable. Sorry, can't take them seriously. So how are we doing over here? All right, let's see what we got. We got 86 people here right now, 59 likes. What's up with that? We got only half as many dollars as we got likes. Pete's Time went to the gym, trained for 4 hours, 5 days a week, and only lost 100 grams. Well, you need to adjust your diet then, Pizza Time. And you're overcompensating. I tell people you shouldn't exercise to lose weight. That shouldn't be your goal. Your goal for exercising should be to tune up your body, to lower your cholesterol, to improve your heart muscle, your cardiovascular circulation, your ability to sleep, keeping your sinews, muscles, tendons, and joints working well. And you don't overdo it. And you exercise, you do some aerobic activity over 20 minutes, and that's good for you. That's good for you. That's what's been so heartbreaking for me is that for months I couldn't do it, and I look like a freaking porky boy. For me, I mean, I've always been my ribs exposed, so I'm not accustomed to being normal or slightly larger than normal. No, working out is just part of it. I never tell people to exercise, lose weight. If you're exercising, lose weight, your approach is completely wrong. Your diet is where you need to start with. You need to be, not doing what I'm doing, eating a bunch of chocolate at midnight. Shouldn't be doing that. Shouldn't be eating dinner at 10 o'clock at night and going to bed. Should not be doing that. So yeah, you've got to adjust your intake of calories. That's the bottom line. It's a pretty simple equation. Yeah, I don't know. An average male. Let's see how many calories I'm supposed to have. Let's just do this real quick. I'm going to guess it's 3,500. Let me just see. Maybe it's 3,200. So average male daily calories burned. Okay. All right. Whoa, it's lower than I thought. And maybe that's why I'm a porky boy. Average person my age, male, is 2,200 to 2,800 calories per day. I mean, it used to be for me, it was 4,500, 4,600 calories per day. Yep. Alter Bridge, hope he reads aloud. That's the best. Okay. If you ever worn a camouflage G-string with no, Alter Bridge. I've never worn to high fructose. Oh, thank you, Neville Purdon. High fructose corn syrup. Yep. Yep. I can't eat unless I'm hungry, says Tony. My dad lost 20 in 4 months doing that. What, adjusting his diet? Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, yep, that's the average number of calories per day. That's a lot less than I thought it was. It used to be a lot higher. As you age, your need for calories diminishes because your body doesn't burn as much. Yep. So that's the key. If you want to lose weight, it's about a combination of things. It's about living properly. That's the key thing here, folks. Living properly. That's what you have to do. Anyway, my Ray Bin Figlin video is not even hit 400 views, 399. Wow, that is shockingly low. That is the lowest video I have done since the Maryland Blue Crabs video on November 18th. But that was just kind of a lark. So it's the lowest one I've done. Wow. Back to October. back to since Joe Biden, Hurricane Helene misinformation. October 10th is the last time I had one that had fewer views. Wow. 2 months ago is the last time I had fewer views. And I've lost 2 subscribers while I was on air. Marilyn, her problem is trying to keep the chocolate economy flourishing. Training is for body tone and fitness. Diet is for weight. There you go, Neville. Thank you. That's correct. That is correct. That is correct. And people always make this, I'm going to start exercising and lose 20 kgs. No. That's not going to do it. Plus, don't get carried away. When I finally got back into walking 2 weeks ago, I walked for 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes first day. And I didn't walk at a full pace. I didn't want lactic acid buildup. I didn't want muscles to be sore, so it would discourage me. The next day, I did 20 minutes a little bit faster. The day after that, I did 30 minutes at that pace. And then suddenly, I'm up to 45 minutes and up to an hour without building up the lactic acid and not having sore muscles so they adjust and make the adjustments. People overdo it. Humans are in a hurry when we want something. When we don't want something, we want to work towards it, we don't think about the timeline. Next thing you know, years go by. Yes, Alta Bridge, and anyone that's ever had the flu and you couldn't eat when you flew because you weren't hungry, what happens? I mean, last time I had the flu, I lost 5 pounds. Yeah. Just your lifestyle. You cannot go back to normal routine. You have to change your lifestyle, otherwise you'll gain all the way back. True, PK. That's true. That's what I'm saying. So my lifestyle got adjusted. I'm not walking every day, and I didn't adjust my diet. Therefore, now in the past that wouldn't matter. I could not exercise and not adjust my diet, and I wouldn't gain weight because I just couldn't gain weight. But now I'm over 30 now, so it's a little bit harder. So when I wasn't able to exercise, I didn't adjust my diet, and suddenly I put on some weight. Eric is losing weight by wheeling around the wheelchair. It's so true. Slow and steady always works best. It does when it comes to that, and it's never too late, folks. It's never too late. Don't think it's too late. It's never too late. You can always improve. And the thing is that you should do it. You'll live longer. You'll live better. You'll have better quality of life. Yep. YouTube has lost control of its AI bot. Make crappy AI channels using big names as clickbait. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Tony. Yeah, it's true. A lot of crazy stuff is going on with YouTube lately. And I'm not blaming censors, and I'm not even complaining about YouTube, but you're right, it's true. And also, here's the other thing that's very frustrating. So when I do the rugby broadcast, YouTube's promotion of videos is currently keyed to those that are actually showing the game live, illegal channels, which they shut down. So their AI or their algorithm is grabbing these channels and promoting those that are showing, like, say, for instance, the Stormers game, the Stormers in Toulon live, and then thousands of people go watch that, and they're not coming to my channel, they're not coming to the Kiwi Lads, they're not going to Forever Sports, and we're missing out on ad revenue, we're missing out on growing our audience, we're missing out on growing our channels, all because they do that. But if we were to do that, boom, shut down. Now, they do shut these channels down, but after they've done the harm. I mean, since June, every time I turn around, I'm finding these fake channels, because what I do is while I'm live streaming, I'll open up YouTube and see what's recommended to me. Because I watch a lot of rugby on that channel, it'll recommend those rugby things. And they do it all the time. Megan Kelly supporters. Hey, Renzo. How's it going, man? There's a lot of YouTube. I see the stupidity bring list. Yeah, no, there is a lot of stuff. Alter Bridge has done 4 keto diets in the past few years. The longest I went without eating was 53 days. As long as you have a beer gut, you don't need to eat. I don't recommend not eating. I'm all into eating. Oh, we never did do the. It's time for the Advent calendar. For those people still here before people run off on us. Today's the 10th, so we'll be looking for 10 on here. There's 11, 14, 20, 12, 21, 19, 10 down here. Hello, kitty. Where the hell's, where's that? Okay, it's on this side. Hello, kitty. All right, that is it just says Hello Kitty on it. Piece of chocolate says Hello Kitty on it. Okay, there's one down. Now we go to the Aldi one, which is 15 days away, folks. Oh, we're going to get to the T, yes. 19, there's 10. Found 10 very quickly on this one, down here at the bottom. On the Aldi one this time. That's always my hard one. And that's a Christmas tree. Speaking of which, my Christmas tree is up now, and so is the Train Village. So I'll be making videos of those sometime soon, and I'll share those with you guys. Not that many people watch it, but I will share it. So we're not looking for showing off. We just want to show it because people are curious. Number 10 is down here. This is the Lidl one, and this is Santa. Santa Claus. Then it's time for the tea. Today's the 10th. We're down here. Careful, it doesn't go inwards. Okay, and we got 2 of these crappy looking brown colors. Okay, let's see what this is. Cinnamon spice. Ooh, cinnamon spice black tea. No, it's not orange pekoe, Tony. Sorry. Cinnamon spice black tea. There you go. Cinnamon spice black tea. So that should be tasty. We'll try that out. Right. Somebody watched my Louis Liebenberg video an hour ago. That's interesting. What the hell is this? We got a new tab here. Promotions. Inspiration. YouTube just changed they don't tell, they just literally, while I've been on there, they changed the format. Inspiration. Let's brainstorm. Pick a topic and create ideas. Okay. So they've got, I presume, AI in here to come up with ideas for us. Okay. I want to look at my content. Where are my videos at? There they are, videos. It's the second tab now. I want to see that one. I got to go all the way back here. So, all right, that one's 10,234. So now it's inspiration. Let's check this out. Okay. Ready to unlock and explore ideas with AI. Give me an idea here, folks. Is that the YouTube? Yeah, it's in the YouTube studio. Let me show it to you. Make sure I'm not giving away any secrets here. I'm not. Okay, here we go. So I'm in the YouTube studio. So let's go with topic to create ideas. The topic would be, let's see, South Africa wine industry. South Africa wine industry, okay? Create ideas. All right, let's see what it does. A day in the life of South African winemaker, wine tasting, exploring the history of winemaking. Yep. Okay. Wine and food preparation. Okay, well, there you go. Very low interest. None of these have any interest. Instead of showing me all low interest stuff. Okay, let's try that. Trend, okay. Okay, let's try trending breaking news. Okay, let's try that. Create ideas. Okay, Jordan Penny will probably be one of these. Couldn't create ideas. Okay. Now it's doing it. Metaverse, Ukraine war. They're all very low interest, it's saying. This is stupid. So let's try Daniel Penny. Let's try that. Let's see what Daniel Penny comes up with. Couldn't create ideas. Let's try it again. Couldn't create ideas. Okay, isn't that? Of course it doesn't create ideas. Let's try Trump. That's what it says there. Couldn't create out. What the hell is this? Okay, this is useless. Let's go to Syria. Okay, ancient ruins, very low. These are all low interest. It doesn't give me high interest things. Yeah. Okay. Let's try failing. Let's try failing governments. Can't create ideas. Oh my goodness. Try Namibia. Okay. See what comes up in Namibia. Very low interest. Low interest. Very low interest. Low interest. Any of these have high interest? Come on. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. Let's try that. Amish country, low interest. Historical landmarks, best breweries, low interest. What the hell is? What's the point of this thing? What is Hoba? No idea what that is. Couldn't create ideas. Let's go back to the previous one. Whoops. Inspirations. I like this one. Scenic drives for autumn foliage. Let's see what happens there when you click on it. Oh, look at that. This is what it'll do for you. This is what I want to see. Outline, titles, thumbnails. I like this. Okay. Thumbnails. That's kind of cool. All right, well, we'll see what happens with that, but that's interesting. Say the least, I would say. Yep. It creates a script to make a video. I like that, but I mean, what if I just put in the title of my video and see what happens? In fact, let me do that. I'll pick one of my titles that's not too long, okay? Content, videos. Here we go. Try this one here. That's not the one I want. The titles might just be a little too long. That would be part of my problem. Let's go with the crabs. The last Maryland blue crabs of 2024. Okay. Copy. Let's see what we come up with for an idea for that one. I like that, what it's doing there. So, come on. Just give me back. There we go. Inspiration. Paste. Create ideas. See if we can come up with anything for the last Maryland blue crabs. And we'll see what it comes up with. Okay. Blue crab fishing, very low interest. Maryland blue crab history from past to present. Future of blue crabs in Maryland. Not exactly what I have, but I could probably use the template it makes up to beef up mine. Well, 70 people here. People are just leaving now. What's going on with that? It makes you stop thinking critically of yourself. Yeah, I agree. I like the avatar they came up with, though. The thumbnail. Largest bean of the land, and maybe it called Hoba. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Be more elaborate. Maryland's blue crab, a journey through time. Pretty cool. Nobody wants that stuff, though. So now we're down to 69 viewers. That's Ronaldo's favorite number. Also gives you things that are already being used and it's been overused. Yeah, that's what I thought would be PK, too. That's why it's going with it, because it's searching for what's worked out there or what's out there. It's true. It's inbuilt in us from caveman days. Store for winter and consume in famine. We usually starve once a year, but in modern times we have crap to eat, so no clean out of the stores. Yep, exactly. Yep. Look up the great Australian bearded wonder. You might find me. So you have to program it to get it really something new. Okay. I don't know, PK. I just say I want to look at it and see what was going on there. I thought that was interesting. So, yep. Anyway. Maryland blue crab history from past to present. Okay. I like the thumbnails. Cool. Won't let me open it. Won't let me open the thumbnail. I was trying to thumbnail. Okay. Let's see if it saved that image. Huh? Oh, I already have it. Okay, yeah, it did save it. Cool. I like these thumbnails it came up with. That's cool. Download this thumbnail. That's cool. Yeah, this is, I mean, I can use it to generate thumbnails at least. That's cool. Only did the one. Huh. It said downloads. It won't open it up in a new tab, but maybe I can save it. Oh, come on. Oh, it's there. It's it. That's just weird. Anyway, I like the image, so let's try this one here. This one's cool. These are some cool images of crabs. I like this. It's nice to generate thumbnails. Better than my thumbnail. Cool. Anyway, yeah, if I bored people, yeah, it's a starting point. Maybe I can use it for a few things. So let me show you what this one looked like, what my thumbnail looked like. If you're on YouTube. Oh, it's going to show an ad. I didn't want to do that. Okay.
Artificial intelligence has created massive distribution.
Yeah, I don't want this. Is this going to be a 2-minute video? No, it lets me skip it now. Okay, so yeah, mine looked like that. And let me just pull up the one I just downloaded. I think this is kind of a cool one. Okay, so all right, let me get rid of this. Okay, so here's mine. Okay, that's mine. That's not the thumbnail, but that's how it started the video. So that's how my video started. And then there's this image. This is one they generated for a Maryland blue crab story. That's kind of cool. I have ad blockers in Firefox, and I have Brave. I just don't use. I use Brave for very specific reasons. Anyway, so yep. Hobart, chunk of metal from outer space. Went to Hoba site when I was in the movie. Never been there. Anyway, there you go. Santa's still streaming. Shouldn't be at factories making elves. No, Santa's a leader, Matthew. We just crack the whip and tell the elves what to do. Richard says he's still in the chat. I lost you. No, you're here. You're here. I got you. Yep. Do you think you're gone? You're here. Well, they also put promotions up here. So promote your channel and business. In addition to your regular channel growth, promotions can get... Okay. Learn more about promotions. You don't have access to Google Ads account. Use promotions. What? What? Delink the ads account or request permissions from account admin. Why don't I have permissions? It's my account. I'm the account admin. What the hell does this mean? Be public or listed. Be 10 seconds long. Meet Google's ad requirements. Meet Google's editorial advertising policies. Content. Select promotions. Okay. Google Ads account from the drop-down menu. It's not listed here. This is just weird. I don't want to unlink it because then I'll lose my ads here. Oh, YouTube always makes things too difficult. Tell me I don't have the authority. It's my channel. What do you mean I don't have the authority? Nonsense. What's with Skylab? What's that all about? Anyway, so there you go. All right. Okay, folks, it's Tuesday. So I've actually got a few things to do this afternoon. Tomorrow, my daughter and son-in-law in Australia celebrate the 20th anniversary. Wow. 20 years. That's crazy. Christmas is pagan. It has pagan origins, but it's not pagan. It has pagan origins. Don't confuse the two things. Having pagan origins doesn't make it a pagan event. Not even close to the case. You are here, Richard Kuhn. All right. Only 9 likes. What? No. There's 74 likes. 74 likes. It probably hasn't updated your feed. That happens. Yep. Everybody's been to the Hoba meteorite in Namibia. I haven't been. I've been to the meteorite that's outside of Pretoria there. I've been to that one. So let's go to that one real quick. Can't think of the name of that off the top of my head. Anybody know the name of that one off the top of their head? You got to go through Shoshiguve to get to it. It's pretty scary. So not many people visit the damn thing. It is old. Okay, let's see. Pretoria. Shoshiguve. The Ditsong Schwang meteorite crater. That's what it is. Supan. Well, it's called Supan. Now they're calling it the Ditsong. Change the name. Yeah, Yep, there it is. Here it is. That's it. I've driven all the way around it. That's kind of the view I had of it. I think I was in that spot. That's a good shot of it there, too. Anyway, there you go. It looks like a dam. No, it's just the water fills in because it's in a shallow spot. It comes down from the hill there. See how it's the Supan. Yep. Anyway, all right, folks. Thanks a lot. Appreciate your presence here today. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done it already. Thanks to the gentleman for the 2 super chats. Appreciate it. And the one in Arizona is not underwater either. It's huge. The crater site in Arizona is just massive. But yeah, anyway, thank you all for being here. Catch you later. Have a lovely day. Be safe out there. And enjoy yourselves. Now the fish are drowning from excess beard here. I have met new friends on this account. Oh, well, that's great, Richard. I'm glad you meet people. We try to build a community here. That's the nice part about it. I wish that we weren't harassed, but we do our best. There are starving people in Africa like me, says Dylan. Oh, Dylan, come on, man. We hear about starving. That's sad. All right, folks. Have a good day. Thank you so much. Be safe out there. That's going to do it. Cheers.